Thank you, Representative Wabenberg and Speaker Joe Strauss, as well as Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst and Davita Stike for that message. We appreciate it. And we are just so grateful that we are surrounded by these great men and women who are standing with us for life. Can you agree with me there? Yes, thank you. Now I want to introduce to you our final two speakers, and don't want to overshadow the importance of our elected officials, but you know that there are men and women across this great state who stand on the front lines every single day at pregnancy resource centers, 40 Days for Life, outside of abortion clinics, adoption facilities, all across this great state of Texas who are standing on those front lines. The first speaker that I want to introduce to you, and I'm going to introduce both of them and they'll speak back to back, is a young lady that I think you're going to want to just draw close to you and just tell her how brave she is. Ashton Jimenez is a young woman. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a daughter, she's a licensed professional counselor. But she has a story today to tell you about when she was a freshman in college, when she made a decision to have an abortion, a medication abortion. She took RU486. And this horrific story she will tell you will cause you to be even more glad of what happened this past legislative session with those regulations. She will give you a story of hope and healing. Sylvia Johnson will be our next speaker, and she's from Houston, Texas. And Sylvia is the Chief Executive Officer of 2 pregnancy resource centers in Texas, one downtown, one in the 5th Ward. And Sylvia's pregnancy resource centers are dedicated to seeing abortion-minded women, to giving them hope, healing, and the truth about the choice for abortion. Sylvia will give you a brief glimpse of what happens in this ministry and that will encourage and empower you. Please welcome Ashton.
Good afternoon. My name is Ashton Jimenez, and I am honored to be here with you today to encourage you in your efforts to support the pro-life movement. Last spring, I was invited to testify in favor of Senate Bill 97, a bill that would require the medical abortion, called RU46, to be dispensed according to FDA regulations. This bill would later become a component of House Bill 2. I felt humbled to be able to share my thoughts on why I felt this bill would be so monumental to Texas women. Although, to be perfectly honest, I was nervous to be visiting the Capitol to testify for the first time. But through my volunteer and professional work at my local pregnancy center, I have sat with numerous women considering abortion who I knew needed this bill to pass. I knew that they needed a voice who could talk about the pain and suffering that a woman seeking an abortion goes through, often in silence. The truth is, I was one of the women who could have been impacted by this bill had it been passed earlier in my lifetime. And I am so grateful that because of House Bill 2 and what the pro-life movement has yet to do in Texas, there are many women who will not have to walk through my experience of being a woman impacted by abortion. To share a little of my story, in August of 2004, I had a medical abortion using the RU486 drug after finding out that I was pregnant the summer before I started college. I looked up Planned Parenthood's information and called them to see about having an abortion. At the time, I was approximately 8 weeks pregnant, and they immediately assured me that it was not too late to get an abortion, but I would need to come into the office right away so that I would still have time for the pill abortion. The first appointment that I attended went very quickly, and just so happened to occur on my first day of my freshman year of college. Little did I know that a decision that I thought would be helping my future and career would end up handicapping me in many areas of my life. A female nurse or doctor, I was never properly introduced, came in to do the ultrasound. She said that I was pregnant, but didn't ask if I wanted to see the image on the ultrasound machine. She never confirmed how far along I was, or if the pregnancy was even viable. She then explained to me how to take a set of pills that evening, and I was sent on my way. I could go into detail about the horrific physical effects that occurred that evening, but the main point is that I was terrified. I was cramping, bleeding, and bent over my bed in pain. At times, I felt that the pain was so bad that I would black out. At the end of the experience, I had the remains of my unborn child to dispose of in a college dorm bathroom. No one at the clinic had told me that any of this would be happening, which made me more scared and concerned. Sorry. I was sure that something had gone wrong and that I was going to die, and I immediately regretted my decision and had the feeling that I had somehow been deceived. That night would haunt me with memories that would bring me shame and guilt for many years to come. A few weeks later, I returned to the clinic for a follow-up visit. They were cold and said very little to me once again. I did an ultrasound that stated that they had gotten everything and I looked okay. I was handed emergency contraception and a pack of birth control pills without an explanation, neither of which I had asked for, and was sent on my way without any question to my emotional state. The rest of my first semester of college was a blur. I think I was probably dealing with depression, and there was a sense of feeling numb. I remember being sick multiple times that year and sleeping a lot. Towards the end of my first semester in college, I started having panic attacks in class. It was getting more and more difficult to hide my change in demeanor, and my family and friends were beginning to notice. My emotional state was suffering as well. I had difficulty in both dating and friendship relationships, and would find myself breaking down and crying anytime any sort of conflict occurred. I found myself dealing with symptoms of depression and anxiety more and more frequently, and it wasn't until graduate school and years of trying everything that I knew to help myself without any results that I began to seek out help. Through counseling, I realized slowly that the event that had changed everything in my life was the abortion, and I began to wonder more about the connection between my abortion and my current mental state. Imagine my surprise when research began to show me that I was not alone in my experience, and that all of those symptoms and feelings that seem so unexplainable to me are actually common responses to trauma in women who have had an abortion. I'm happy to say that because of the counseling I received, my faith in God, and my desire for more knowledge on the effects of abortion, I have been able to make many positive changes in my life since that horrible day in August of 2004. I have a wonderful, supportive husband and a precious 16-month-old son. I'm also a licensed counselor in the state of Texas. I'm still so amazed that I have such a wonderful job where I get to join with families and help them walk through and beyond their pain. I am also always humbled when a family comes to me for family conflict issues and later reveals that they have been broken apart by the pain of an abortion in their past. It reminds me that I am lucky, and there are many women, men, and families who have been and will continue to struggle through the pain of an abortion until this issue is widespread and accurate information about the effects of abortion are made readily available. I am so thankful that House Bill 2 is passed in Texas. It is one giant step to ending abortions in the state, and I would like to thank everyone involved. Thank you, Governor Perry, for being a strong pro-life leader, and thank you to the Texas and House representatives for taking the time to care about pro-life issues that affect all Texans. Thank you for being here today, and to all of the Texas pro-life groups, including Texas Alliance for Life. Your stand for life is vital to continuing the progress that was made this last legislative session. And to those working and volunteering on the front lines at the pregnancy centers across our state, I want to encourage you for meeting a woman considering abortion where she is, for loving her and for giving her the emotional support and resources that she needs to choose life. I know personally that the work that you do makes a huge impact in the lives of these women and their unborn children. I know that with all of us working together, my generation will end abortion. Thank you, and have a good day.